Okay, good morning, everyone. So let's continue with the topic. Okay, please tell me if you have any question in the last topic. Okay, what exactly we have discussed in the last session. So, how many different types of variables are available in Java? Okay, so whenever you wanted to store something, storage area we call variable, right? So, variable is the name of a location where you are going to store certain data. But then Java support total three different types of variable. One is local variable, another one is instance variable, and third one is what? Static. We have discussed yesterday the importance of static keyword. Generally in Java, static plays important role. Okay, it is actually used for the proper memory management. So what happen? Whenever you declare any variable with static reference, such a variable we call static variable. What is the general rule? Local variable means variable declared inside the method. Scope is limited. Within a method only you can access, right? Outside the method, you can't directly access local data. Instance means which is declared inside the class and outside the method. That is called instance variable. Similarly, in method also we have instance method. Any method which is declared without any static keyword, such a method we can call instance method, correct? What is the rule? If you have instance thing, means any data or any method, the scope is within an object. So you can call those details only through the object. Clear? But if you have anything as a static, to call the static things, you don't need any object. And that is what we have learned in the last session. So where the static memory will be created, it is inside the meta space. So only one time memory will be created and same memory will be shared with all the different objects. Okay, so these are the three different types of variable we discussed in the last session. I have asked you to complete one assignment also where you will understand two different types of method, instance and difference between static method, correct? And the calling technique you will able to practice. So those have not complete, try it again, okay? And those have complete, you can continue with your next topic, right? Great. So guys, today we'll be talking about the core important topic of Java that is called data types. What are the data types available in Java? Say in general, whenever you wanted to store any data, okay, the type of data will always matter. What type of data you are trying to store into that variable. So if you can see this particular screen, okay, in Java, there are two different types of data types available. Okay. So there are two different types of data types available. One is primitive, another one is a non-primitive. Primitive we can call primary data type. Under primary, guys, you can see the different families. Okay, first is Boolean. Boolean, it is like you can just hold true and false value. So true or either false. That information you can hold in the Boolean. And how much memory Boolean will occupy? So remember, as per the Java documentation, Boolean will require only and only 1 bit memory occupied. Means 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. Correct? Similarly, only 1 bit we need for Boolean. If it is true, it will hold 1. If it is false, it will hold 0. That is the reason only 1 bit is required. When it comes to the numeric family, under numeric, two different families you can see. One is a character and second one is a integral. Under integral, again, you can see byte, short, int, long, and even floating point. There you can see float and double. So let me tell you, character can hold in Java total 2 byte memory. Okay. Byte can hold 1 byte, short can hold 2 byte, integer will be 4 byte, long will hold 8 byte. So this how much memory data types are holding, that is most important, okay, as a tester for to crack your interview. This part will help you. In fact, if it is a float type, right? It can hold 4 byte, double can hold 8 byte. But how exactly this primitive data type we can use? That is what we are learning. Guys, what comes under non-primitive? Generally, classes plus objects comes under non-primitive. Like you can see, string is represented in Java as a class. What is array in Java? Technically, array, it is an object in Java. Okay. So we will talk array separately, string separately. We have a separate session for those important topics. But before that, let's talk about primitive data types in Java and how we can use it. Now, guys, here you can see every data type, there is some specific memory available. and some kind of range is also available. So you can see byte can hold data in between -128 to 127. So only within this range, if you really wanted to store anything, you can use byte. In general, why we use always integer? Let me tell you. If you really wanted to store any number in Java, that number can be any number. So by default, that number type is always integer in Java. So whenever any number to hold, that can be positive integer, that can be negative integer. That is fine. But what is the default type? It is integer. Whenever it comes to the decimal number, suppose I wanted to hold 30.44, right? So what is the default type of this kind of number? Remember, these are called floating point number and default type is always double. Okay. So double is the default type for this floating point number. So under floating point, there are two families we'll be learning, float and double. But let's talk about these primitive data types first. Okay. So let's come back to Eclipse. Under week 2, I will create today's class. Okay. So under same package, right click and you can ready with your class. So right click on that week 2 and then let me come to the class and let me write here class. Okay. Data types demo. And I will take a main function also and just have a look. Now guys, directly I'm writing everything inside the main function. Very first, I will help you with the Boolean type. As I told you, it will occupy 1 bit memory and it can hold either true and false value. So how to declare any Boolean data type? You need to write Boolean, okay? Then you can write any variable name. Suppose I'm writing status and status initially I'm writing true. What is the concept here? You can declare a variable separately and you can initialize also. Either you can do what? In one line you can declare in this way. So this is your declaration along with the initialization. So in one line, I'm mentioning that Boolean status means status is my variable name and which can hold true value. So at this moment, if I can show you, okay, suppose I'm writing Boolean data is. See, what is the Boolean data we are getting here? So here I will print that status. Absolutely answer will be what? True, correct? So if I run this code, just have a look. I'm getting result as a true. At this moment, I wanted to declare another status. Is that mean, suppose you are using the same variable. You don't need to write again with a Boolean keyword. Clear? You can directly write, okay, fine. I wanted to change the status. Now I can reuse the same variable. Status is equal to now false, right? So first time whenever you create status, that is true. But now second time I'm trying to modify it. So I'm just writing status is equal to false. That is fine. So we are updating the same value for that same variable. Got it? So at this moment, I will say updated value. Okay, updated status is. And here I will able to print that status. Correct? So what is the Boolean status or Boolean data? Okay, this is fine. And here you can see updated status. Absolutely updated status value will be false because we have updated the same. Correct? So if I just execute this code, you can see now I'm getting updated status. Suppose you wanted to create a new status, doesn't matter. You can directly create. Okay, Boolean, let's say you are writing new status and there I will be writing, okay, again suppose false. Fine. So this is what the new variable which I'm declaring and I'm just updating the status. So either you declare it, initialize it. Again, if you wanted to change a value for that same variable, you can do. Or if you wanted to create a new variable, this is how you will create a new variable. So every time memory will be created as it is a local, correct? So whenever main function will be executed, that time only memory will be allocated to this variable. And this is how we can represent, okay, Boolean data. So Boolean new status, okay, I will be writing Boolean new status is, and here I can print that variable, okay, new status. This is what the Boolean representation. Now in Java, when it comes to the primitive type, right? We are talking about all the primitive types. Okay. So under primitive, first is a Boolean family. Now it is time to understand what is character. So technically under the same Boolean, okay, or I will say under the same primitive, right? We have under primitive, we have numeric family. So when it comes to the numeric family, under numeric we have two. One is character and second one is what? Okay, second one is what? That is all about integer. So let me talk about what is character. So guys, first point, character, okay, character will hold or character will help you to hold single character only, correct? So character data type, okay, size is technically it holds 2 byte in Java. If you talk about C and C++ programming, let me tell you, it will hold only 1 byte in programming. So why? Because it is holding only one single character. But in Java, why the data type size is 2 byte? Because this type of data, it is very special. Please focus. What we can store using character. So character data type size is 2 byte and character can store, okay? Character can store, I will say single character, okay? Single character, any alphabet guys, basically you can store. So I will write A to Z, anything, correct? And this can store special character. Okay, what is speciality here? So it can hold special characters also, right? And it can store ASCII value, okay? ASCII value for character. So this is very special. Now, why character hold 2 byte? Because in Java it is very special. Just have a look. As I told you, character can store one single character. Any special character allowed. Plus ASCII values are also allowed. Let me show you with example. Suppose I'm writing character C1, it is equal to, okay, how to represent character data? Please make a note in a single quote. You need to write any alphabet, whatever alphabet you are writing. So example, I'm writing here or any special character also you can hold in a single quote only. So let me show you. Suppose I'm writing here capital A, right? So current character data is what? Which is holding capital A, right? Now let me write character C2 and here I'm storing some special character. Let me store some dollar, right? So this is what second example. We can store any special character also as a character type. And what is the third example? Generally, people will ask you this kind of question. Suppose I'm writing in this manner, okay? This should not allow. Why? Because character can hold a single character, right? As per the definition, we know that character can hold single character or any special character. How come it is accepting any number? So here comes the main part. Character data type is always, in Java, it can store ASCII values for the character. Now you need to understand what is the ASCII value. In modern technologies, we can call it as Unicode values also. Okay. So guys, let me help you. What is ASCII? Keyboard you can see. On the keyboard, you can see the keys available. The keys which we can understand, right? When I press A, because I know where is the A key and I can easily press A. I can easily press P. I can press any button, which because we are able to read it. Whenever you press the button, as I told you, machine will understand only binary. Got it? So the instruction will goes to the machine in the form of ASCII number. Machine will not get A directly. Machine will get A key ASCII value. Now it is a time to understand what are the ASCII values and where you will see that information. So let me show you ASCII table. When you open, let me open Google, okay? And just have a look. I'm searching for ASCII table, right? And let's go to any, okay, image. Yeah, here is a table again. You can see. What you can observe here, this is your character and this is the decimal count for that. I mean, if for capital A, when you press A, system will get 65. That is the ASCII number. So generally these are the, for every special keyboard key, you can see there is some ASCII number available. If you can see capital A to Z, 65, you can see up to what? 90. That is for capital A to Z. Then from 97 to 122, okay, you can see up to 122, that is for small z. And here you can observe for 0 to 9 numbers, 48 to 57. These are the ASCII values. So technically, here you can remember at least three range for the ASCII. one for what is ASCII value for capital A to capital Z. I will say starting range from 65 to 90. Second, small a to small z, that is equal to, I will say 97 to, okay, 122. And for 0 to 9, okay, 0 to 9 numbers, generally the ASCII value is what? It is starting from 48 to 57. Got it? At least for your interview, remember three ASCII values. Okay, that will help you a lot. So capital A to Z, small a to Z, and 0 to 9 numbers. Now tell me, I'm passing here 90. It is accepted. How it is accepted? Because character is storing what? ASCII value for that character. Now tell me, 90 is ASCII value for which character? You can see here, 90 is available for capital Z. So absolutely, whenever it will hold, let me write here, it store 90 as ASCII, okay, for character, absolutely capital Z. So guys, whenever I try to print it, please have a look. I'm writing now character data is, suppose I'm printing C1, right? Absolutely, what will be the output of this statement? It will print capital A. Agree? Similarly, suppose I will copy the statement and I will paste 3 times because I'm having 3 variables. Whenever I will try to print C2, it will just print you what? Dollar. Dollar in the console. And whenever you will try to print C3, as I told you, C3 is holding 90 as a ASCII. So ASCII conversion into character is what? That is capital Z. So here you are able to see capital Z. And now guys, if I execute this, just have a look. What is the result? Okay, got it? Same result, A, dollar and capital Z. So you need to understand this point. Why character holds 2 byte memory in Java? Okay, because in C and C++ programming, it is only 1 byte. But in Java, character can hold special character, single character, in fact, any ASCII value also. So whatever ASCII value you will write, it will directly hold. It will convert that number in the form of character. And that character you will able to see in the console. It will not show you 90 as it is. Okay. So it will store 90 as a ASCII for specific character, whatever character it is, right? So example, again I'm writing character, let's say C4. And C4 I'm writing, suppose let me write 55. Absolutely what will happen? It will store 55 as a ASCII, and what it will return whenever you try to print C4, it will print character for that 55. So what is the character for 55? Just have a look. Character value for ASCII, okay, 55 is, and here I'm printing that C4, correct? So technically 48, that is for 0. So 49 for 1, 40, I think 50 for 2, 51 for what? It is for 3, 53 for what is the next number? That is 4, and 55 will be mostly 4, right? So let's see. 3 or 4. Let's see what is that number. Okay, it is for 7. Yes, count 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, and 55. So absolutely 7 is that particular number because it is starting from the 0 range. So we are getting the correct answer here, that is 7. Okay, so just count. Starting range is 48, and from that you can count. So whatever number you are trying to store, you will able to see that ASCII value. It will store ASCII, but it will return what? Character value for that ASCII. Now clear what is exactly character data type in Java and what it can store. So please make a note. Whenever people will ask you just to confuse you, what they do, they will write this kind of code and they will ask you what is the output of this program, right? Only character is writing C4 or any variable name and any number they might write. And they will ask you, okay, what is the output of this particular statement? You need to remember that this statement will never throw any error. This will accept in Java because Java character data type can accept ASCII values also. And that's the reason you will able to see appropriate character for that ASCII number, whatever character it is. Okay. And just for understanding, you can remember this range also, right? For the preparation part. Okay, great. This is character data type. Now, let me show you complete integer family. Why this family is important to know, right? So under same primitive, okay, we have integral family, right? First is integer, or I will say integral. Under integral, we have integer family, right? There are again two, integer and floating point. When it comes to integer, technically integer comes under numeric, right? Numeric pattern. And now we have an integer family under that. So when it comes to the integer, there are total four families. Very first byte. After that, we have short. After that, we have integer. And after this, we have, okay, long. So why we have a different types of families here? Because every data type holds a different memory. Okay. If I start with byte first, byte can hold only one byte information, and the data within minus 128 to 127 only we can store as a byte. Remember, every data type we have a specific range. Only that much information you are able to store into that type of variable. Now guys, by default type for any number in Java, that is integer. So I'm writing here, this is the default value. Okay. Now, let's say I'm writing here byte B1, it is equal to, suppose I'm writing 120. Okay, so this is allowed? Yes, allowed, because it is within a range. So this is allowed. Okay, I'm writing byte B2. Let's say it is equal to minus 125 or 126. This is also allowed. Why? Because up to minus 128, we can store. So these two values are allowed. Suppose I'm writing on boundary. Example B3, it is equal to 127, allowed. On boundary range also allowed. I'm writing byte B4, it is equal to minus 128. You can see allowed. But as soon as I try to write byte B5, suppose I wanted to store 130. Okay, 130 amount. And I will be writing here 130. Is this allowed? See, in Java, when you exceed a range, this is not allowed. Java says byte data type can hold up to only 127. Beyond 127, if you try to store anything, this will not help you. So what the compilation error we are getting? See, currently, at the time of compilation only we got that error, right? Here you will get a very interesting error message. You will get type mismatch. You cannot convert from int to byte. So let me show you. When you keep your mouse pointer on that red line, see the message. Type mismatch cannot convert from int to byte means what? Why int to byte? As I told you, every number in Java, it is a by default integer type. That's the reason they are asking you 130 is an integer number. You can't store integer number as a byte number. And that's the reason you are getting this message. So for your reference, I will copy this message and you can prepare accordingly. Okay. So now I got type mismatch. I cannot convert from integer to byte. So this is not allowed. Correct? Technically in Java, only within a range that information you can store. So if I wanted to print here, okay, byte data. So I'm just writing byte data is, and here I can print that variable. So suppose currently I'm using all four variables I'm trying to print. So let me print here all four variables. And I'm just writing, okay, 2, 3, and 4. So absolutely whenever I will execute, I will able to see the same result, correct? Okay, we are writing B, right? B1, B2, let me hold B3 and B4, right? Not C. And now let me run it. So please have a look. This is your byte information which you can store, right? But guys, what we have observed that 130 I can't store, right? Which is exceeding the range of byte. But same 130 if I wanted to store, can I use any other data type? Yes. For numeric, even for integer, four families are there. Here comes second is short. Okay, short which can hold 2 byte memory. And if you can observe the range, it might be minus 32, 6, 7, 6 up to 32, 7, 6, 7. Something like this range we are having. Okay, let me confirm. Because we can't remember the range. Yeah, it is 768 to 767. Okay, 767. And here it is 768. Correct. So minus 32768 up to 32767. Only this much information you can hold as a short data type. Means at this moment, if I wanted to write something like this, short S1 is equal to 130, I can store, right? Any number within this range, you can store. In fact, I can store 30,000. Yeah, we can store easily, right? I wanted to store 32,000. Yes, I can store easily because still it is within a range. When you wanted to write, let's say on boundary, okay, 767. So yes, we are able to hold all on boundaries variable also. Example, one more time. So let me try short S2, it is equal to minus 32, 768. Correct? I'm trying to hold all boundaries value and yes, it is allowed. But if I exceed the range, suppose I wanted to store this time 50,000. Okay, so I'm writing here 50,000. Guys, this is not allowed now. What the error will be? Any guess? Here, what the error I will get? Absolutely same na? Type mismatch. You cannot convert from integer to short because 50,000 will be considered here as a integer number. And you can't store integer number as a short number. So I'm getting the same error message. Type mismatch. You cannot convert from integer to short because 50,000 we can't store as a short data. Whatever data within that range only you can store, correct? So usually where this data types plays important role, whenever any developer developing any software application, at that time this data type plays important role. As a tester, we are not going to develop anything. We will be testing it. And for that reason, whenever you wanted to store any data, okay, generally we don't occupy the memory, right? That's the reason this part will not exactly help you in automation. But for interview, this is important. Okay, different data types and their meaning. That is important. So absolutely just to store a number, you can take integer type and you can store your number. Okay. So yes, let's print the short data type. See, here I can print short data is, and let me print S1 and I will copy the same line and I will come to the next line and I will print S2 also, right? Absolutely, whenever you run it, you will see the result. So previously byte data, now you are getting the short data. Now, yes, I can't hold 50,000 here, right? Then we have a higher family. Yeah, we have an integer family. Generally, size is 4 byte and the range that we can't directly read because range is again huge range. Can you see that? This is the complete range we have. Okay. Any data between that range, you can easily hold as an integer type. So remember size, that is enough. No one will ask you the range part, but this is for your understanding. So just have a look. I can store any higher number as an integer type. But again, it should be within a range. So let me show you. Suppose I'm storing I1, it is equal to 50,000. Okay. At this moment, I can store that 50,000 easily. Correct? There is no error now because I can hold this data as an integer type. Any data within that range, whatever it is given by the developers, right? In within that range only you can store. Suppose I'm writing large integer number. Example C, I2, it is equal to, okay, 3 or 4 times 9. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 9. Okay, in fact, this is allowed. 8 times 9 also allowed. 9 times 9, see higher number allowed. But if I exceed the range, this will not allow. Now I wanted to store such a large number. Is it possible to store in integer? No. Within range, if it is possible. But if it is exceeding the range, you will not able to store. But at this moment, what the compilation error you will get? Is it type mismatch? No, guys. By default, every number in Java store as an integer. You will not get type mismatch here. You will get that number which is in Java we can call literal. Okay. That number which is literal is nothing but the constant value, whatever the value it is. That number is actually exceeding the range, right? Out of range. Correct? Please have a look. What message I'm getting? The literal, it is a type of integer. It is out of range. See, this is the message I'm getting. Why out of range? Because I can't store such a large number, right? If number is within a range, we can store. So if I write here integer, let's say I2, it is equal to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, up to the 9 I'm trying to write. Yes, I can store, right? Because this number is within a range. But as soon as you exceed the range, that's such a large number, we are not able to store as an integer data type. So integer have a 4-byte memory, and up to 4 byte, everything you are able to store. So let me print here integer data is, and here I'm printing that I1. Okay. Similarly, I will copy and I will use it I2. And guys, here you can see that result. Now the term which we use here, okay, this is how you can store the data. But term which we use here, that is called literal, right? What is this literal? Let me explain. This is actually called tokens in Java. You know, every statement, whatever you write in Java, it has some meaningful, information. Example, I'm writing this way, okay? Integer x is equal to 200. So what is this? Every component of this Java statement, okay, that is called simple. It is a collection of, some kind of keyword, some kind of identifier, some kind of operators, some kind of, constant numbers, right? So this is called token in Java. Every meaningful component of Java statement, which will help you to execute that statement, that is called token. So what is token in Java? So any keyword, right? Any operator, any particular number. Okay, number means your constant data and which is called in technical word literal. Okay, so any operator, any keyword, any identifier, that is called in Java token. So let me help you. What is int here? Absolutely, for us it is a data type. Great. Technical word, it is a data type. X is what? It is a variable. Yes. And now what is this equal to sign? It is a operator, right? See, this data type in Java, it is called keyword. Variable in Java, we call identifier. So we are able to identify that this is a variable name. X is an operator. Yes. What is a 200? For now, it is just a number. But in Java token keyword, in the token way, it is what? It is a literal. This is your constant data. What is this sign? Semicolon. Okay, for us it is a semicolon, right? So every statement should end with semicolon. In Java, it is called punctuator. Okay. So what are these? Keyword, identifier, operator, literal, punctuator. All these are called even separators. Sometimes we write comma, right? Separators. These are called tokens in Java. Okay. So these are the terminology that we use in programming. So here comes the same term, literal. The literal, this number, it is a type of integer which is out of range. So basically, whatever data within that range, and if the data is a 4 byte, I can store as an integer. But if I have this kind of large number, I can't store, right? But you know what? Anything large data, if you really wanted to store, we have another family that is called long. Long data type, which hold 8-byte memory, double than integer, right? Again, the range, again, that range you can see, which we can't directly read. You can see it's such a long number it is, right? And now, how exactly we can store a data? Please have a look. You will be writing long L1. Suppose I'm pasting the same number and I'm writing semicolon. Technically, still I'm getting the error because there is one more rule whenever you are declaring long type of number. Whenever any number you are writing, at the end of that number, you need to add capital L or small l as a suffix. Means I can't write only number, I have to add capital L at the end. Then this will be considered as a long data, which I'm trying to store into that variable long L1. Got it? So guys, at this moment, suppose I'm trying to print, okay, long data is, and here you will able to see that L1. So the same number it will print. Absolutely. See, suppose long L2 and I'm writing 190. Okay. At this moment, if the number is, small number, no need to write capital L. It will store 190 as a long number only. Okay. Even though you are writing, doesn't matter. You will not get any error because this is the right structure or right way to write that long type of data. And now I can print both, right? So I can print here, okay, long data is, and here I'm printing L2, correct? Let me save the code and let me run. Just have a look. Now I'm executing this long number, integer number, short and byte. So these are four comes under integer family, where every data type has a specific range and specific, size. And as per the size, generally we hold the data. So whenever developer develop the application, they need to take care proper memory management, and there they need this kind of proper data types, right? But as a tester, if you really wanted to store any number, okay, if the number is small number, you can directly store as an integer number. Okay, so this is how the primitive data types work. But there is another family under same primitive, inside same integral, right? I will write integral. Now under numeric, correct? Under numeric, one more family is there which is called floating point number. So what is this floating point number, everyone? Any decimal digit number called floating point number, means number with that decimal point. Okay. So there are two families available. One is float. Float can hold 4 byte of information, and second is double. Okay, remember double can hold 8 byte information, and actually double is a default type. Means any number, if it is floating point number, you can directly declare as a double type. So generally I will write in this manner. Double D1, it is equal to, suppose 90 dot some number. Yeah, we can easily write. This is my double type of number. But if I write float, okay, float F1, it is equal to, let me write 56.5678. This is not allowed in Java directly. Like a long type of structure, whenever any number is a floating point number, you need to add capital F or small f at the end of that number. Then only it will consider as a float type of number. Means I will be writing here capital F, then only this will be float number. So what is the general difference in double and float? It is related to size. Float numbers can hold only 4 byte of information. Double number can hold total 8 byte of information. Only with respect to size, there is a difference. So any decimal digit number, you will be able to store in this manner. Okay. Now I'm trying to print it. See, this is the float number. Okay. So let me write float data is, and here I'm printing the same. So what is the variable name? It is F1. And here I'm trying to print that double data. Okay, so double data is, and now I'm printing here D1. So guys, when you run this, you will see the result. Got it? So these are all the primitive data types available in Java. So if you can observe the PPT properly, and if you can observe this particular hierarchy, what we discuss, what is Boolean, how to store that Boolean data, how to store character. Under numeric, there is an integral, integer and floating point, right? So how to store that integer type and even floating point data. All this comes under primitive only. Non-primitive we will learn separately. Okay, just wait for this part. But now what is important to know? Somewhere in automation, one type of information we are trying to store into another type. Means now the next topic I will be explaining to you, that is most important, which is called type conversion. Okay, type conversion. Guys, what does mean by type conversion? This is also called as typecasting. So typecasting means one type of information we can change into another type. But there are three patterns which we'll be learning. Somewhere you need to understand how to convert primitive to primitive data. Okay. Second, somewhere what we do, we convert object to primitive. And third is primitive to object. These are the three types which you need to remember. This part we will be learning in automation also. We need it in automation testing. Okay. So primitive to primitive means all the primary data types we can convert from one type to another type. But there is a rule. Type should be compatible, right? Number should be converted. Now, if you try to convert Boolean data into integer, that is not possible, right? Boolean to directly integer or Boolean to some other data type or character, you can't directly convert. Boolean is not comes under numeric, correct? So we can't directly convert numeric, or I will say Boolean things with numeric. But if you have all the numeric data, if type is compatible, we are able to convert. So under primitive to primitive, I will be covering two types. One is implicit casting. Second one is explicit casting. Okay. Under object to primitive and primitive to object. To learn this part, first of all, you need to understand what is wrapper class. Okay. What is wrapper class in Java? So I will be introducing new class in Java, wrapper class, and this class will help you to convert object to primitive and primitive to object. But before coming to this pattern, let me explain what is primitive to primitive conversion, right? So primitive to primitive, there are two types, implicit, explicit. Okay, don't worry, I will be giving you notes also. So here I have directly defined the wrapper class part, okay? But what is primitive to primitive and all, we will see it here. So the topic is typecasting. Let me write 31st/12/2024. And here we have discussed typecasting. Okay. So typecasting means one data type we convert into other type. Okay. Data type. And there are three patterns. First is primitive to primitive conversion. Okay. And under this, we'll be learning two patterns. One is implicit. Second one is explicit. So we'll be learning this. So what is implicit and what is explicit? I will write here. Implicit, which is actually called automatic conversion. Okay, automatic conversion. Taken automatic, I will say conversion taken care by JVM. You don't need to do it. JVM will do for you. Okay, but that casting is called implicit casting. And in shortcut, if you wanted to remember, you can just remember a small size of data. Okay, we can easily convert into large size, and that is called primitive. Okay, so how to remember, I will explain. And what is explicit? Explicit, I can say this is a manual conversion. Okay, manual conversion means data will not automatically convert. You will do that. Okay, explicitly or forcefully, you will convert one type of data into another type. That is called explicit conversion. So manual conversion. And here we use, okay, here we use casting operator. Okay, casting operator. And how to use it? Let's see practically. Okay, operator. Done. So shortcut again same. Some large size of data, maybe some large size of data, we will able to convert into small size. That is what the shortcut for implicit explicit understanding. But let me help you on a board first. Now everyone, please participate. Okay. So we are learning typecasting, correct? And as I told you, there are two types when it comes to primitive family. So first is implicit casting. What does mean by implicit? As I told you, it is a automatic casting and it is taken care by the JVM. So you don't need to do it, JVM will do for you. So let me help you. Consider I'm having integer data. Integer x is equal to and some data I'm having. Okay. Now, whenever I declare this variable will hold 4-byte memory. Agree? So I wanted to store integer data into long type. So what I will do? I will do in this way now. Long L1 it is equal to x. Means I'm trying to store x information into L2 or L1, right? So here what happens? You don't need to convert your data type because integer has a small size. Long has what? Total 8-byte data. So now just think you have two container, 4-byte, 8-byte. Now 4-byte data we can easily hold na guys into 8 byte data. Yes, into 8 byte size, we can easily store. So here we don't need to convert any type. This conversion, integer to long conversion, will be automatically taken care by the JVM. Got it? So that's the reason any small size of data you can easily convert into larger size. That is called implicit casting. Please tell me, first example is clear. Suppose the second example. What I'm trying to store? Character. Character C1, it is equal to capital A. Yeah, this is my character data. I wanted to store C1 into integer. So can I write int? Okay, int, let's say I, it is equal to C1. Is it possible? Character to integer, can I store? And what the result then I will get? Anyone? What the result I will get for this I?
We cannot store actually character to integer.
Why we can't store? See, do you remember we discussed some ASCII
Okay,
value?
ASCII value.
Ah, so what happens whenever you write in this manner? No. So internally C1 hold A, correct? And whenever I'm writing integer I is equal to C1, so what it is doing, it is passing ASCII number to that I. So A ASCII is 65. Got it? 65 will pass to this I. So I is holding 65. So whenever you try to print I, you will get absolutely 65 now. So here you can see character data converted in the form of integer. And how it is possible? Because character holds only 2 byte and integer holds 4 byte. So 2 byte data I can store into 4 byte. Are you getting my point? This is implicit automatically. So in a simple word, shortcut is any small size of data you can easily store into large size of information. So anything from byte to char, okay? In fact, from byte to short, short to again integer, integer to long. In that pattern, it is allowed. Means, suppose I'm trying to store in this manner. When it comes to all integer, so byte to short, yeah, byte to short possible, correct? Short to integer also possible, integer to long also possible. Let me tell you. Now under same integral, two families are there, na, integer and floating point. Long data, if you try to convert into float, that is also possible. Okay. In fact, float to double, that is also possible. This is what? Smaller size information we are trying to hold into larger size data. So even int to float also possible. And let me help you practically for this. So you will understand the topic. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I will create another class. Better. Let me write typecasting. Okay. Typecasting where we are going to discuss first primitive, right? So here the first pattern I will be covering here, that is primitive to primitive to primitive conversion. And please have a look how we can do this. So as I told you, very first we are learning implicit casting. Okay, implicit means automatic. Let me help you with all the examples. Suppose I'm writing character. Okay, same example, character A. Okay, C1 is equal to A. And now I try to hold it into integer. So initially when you declare a character, size is 2 byte. Perfect. Now I'm writing I is equal to what? Suppose C1. So there is no error. You can easily store because it is storing ASCII value. So internally it stores, yeah, it stores ASCII. Okay. Now just observe if I print here char2 int conversion, what exactly I'm getting. And if I try to print I, absolutely you will get ASCII number for that capital A. So whenever I execute this code, please have a look the result. Yeah, got it? Character to integer, you are getting 65, correct? So whatever character you will store, it will be easily converted in the form of integer, right? Now, second example. I'm storing integer x is equal to some number. Okay, I'm having this number. And this number I wanted to convert into long. Yeah, possible. Or let's say long, anyways possible. Let's try for float. Float is 4 byte, integer also float byte, 4 byte. How it is possible then? See, it is possible because families are different. This is completely integer. and floating point is different. So if I try to store, let's say float f1, it is equal to x, you can store easily. See, no error. And if I can show you what the result will be, just have a look. Suppose I'm writing int to float conversion. Okay. What do you think? What should be the result? Absolutely, the number will be converted in the form of decimal digit. So by default, if I try to print that F1, here you will get something like this. Okay, the number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, 8 time I have written 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dot 0. Okay, how the number will convert? This will convert into decimal digit. And if you run it, you will see the result. See, I'm getting. Okay, okay. Now just have a look. It is converted internally. Okay, I'm not getting with directly 0. But if you can see, again, this is because of the octal conversion. Okay, this E and 8, why we are getting? Because it is converted in the form of, octal conversion. So now here comes the number system part. Okay, there is a, like we have a families, right? Octal, hexadecimal, this kind of higher number we can write. So decimal digit, this is in the basic pattern. Suppose if I remove this number, okay? Suppose 4 times 9 I am writing. In that case, you will see this kind of result. If I save and if I run, please have a look. Now I'm getting accurate number. But if number is large number, then it will be converted into hexadecimal, octal, and this kind of pattern. So you are getting different number in the conversion. But this is how you need to understand small size of data, we are able to convert into large size. Got it? In fact, current float number is what? 999 or let's say 4 times 9.0. I wanted to store as a double. Possible? Yes. You can see double D1, it is equal to F1. I can store F1 data into D1. Please have a look. Whenever you are writing assignment operator, we discussed already this part. So this is the left hand side and this is the right hand side. And first priority goes to right hand side. Right hand side part will store into left hand side. That's the reason whenever you will see this kind of statement, F1 will pass to D1. And you will not see error, right? Here I can print. So here I can write float to double. Correct? Conversion. I can write in this manner. And even I can print that D1. So absolutely D1 will not change. It will be same. But that number now it is a double type. So previously it was float number. Now it is converted in the form of double number. So whenever you are referring D1, you will not get float number. It is always in the form of double. Even though number is same, right? But here we have changed the type of that number. Now tell me, is this concept clear? So any small size data you can store into large size information. And this type of conversion, which is actually automatically taken care by the JVM, so it is called implicit conversion. Yes. Any question on this? What is explicit now? Okay. Explicit means here it is a manual conversion. Okay. First of all, it is a manual conversion and we need casting operator. Now let me help you what is casting operator and all. So at this moment, I will add here one sysout statement. Let me separate out. Okay. So please have a look. Suppose I will store some long number. Okay, I'll start with long L1 and I'm trying to hold such a large number. Okay, I'm writing this is my long number. And long number absolutely data size is 8 byte. Correct? Now this information I wanted to store into integer. Okay, or let's say into any smaller data type. So let me take integer. And I'm writing integer I1, it is equal to L1. But absolutely 8 byte data you can't store into 4 byte. There we need conversion. I mean, it is an explicit or forceful conversion. So if I try to write this statement, Java will immediately give me compilation error. What the error should be? Yeah, type mismatch. You cannot store long to integer. Are you getting my point? See, here I'm getting type mismatch, cannot convert from long to integer. Got it? So I got this message. But still I wanted to do forceful. Java will not do this automatically. But as a user or as a tester or as a developer, I wanted to do it forcefully because I need that long number to be stored into integer. There it comes casting operator. Casting operator means, now please have a look. Simple rule is what? If you just focus this left hand side, right hand side, so left hand side I'm having integer data, right hand side I'm having long data. And long data I can't store as it is, right? So what we need to do, long data we need to convert in the form of integer. So right hand side fully become integer. And then that integer data you can store into left hand side. This is the rule. So what is this? This is called casting operator. Okay. What type of data you wanted to convert? Write it inside the bracket. So what I will do? Before this statement L1, I will put bracket and I will just write int. So complete right hand side become integer. Long will be converted in the integer now. Now that whole integer number you can store into I1. So at this moment, conversion is completed. And here I can print long to int conversion. Okay. So please have a look. Whenever I will print I1, you will see integer number. So see, currently as number is within a range of integer, so I can see as it is number. But let me exceed the range. I'm exceeding this kind of range, right? This time you will get some different number, which is in the form of integer. So see, I'm getting some negative number, which is in the form of integer. Are you understanding the topic? Yes, everyone. So somewhere Java will not automatically convert the type. You need to convert it, then you will do explicitly. Got it? Example C. Integer, I'm writing, let's say C. C is equal to 90. Or let me write 122. I wanted to convert into character. Character C2 is equal to C. Possible? Absolutely not. Integer will hold 4 byte, character will hold 2 byte. 4 byte data into 2 byte. How you can able to store? So what we need here? We need explicit casting. So guys, there from Java also you will get a suggestion. First line you can see type mismatch. You cannot convert from character to, or sorry, integer to character. But there are some suggestions also available from Java. It is asking you add a cast to char. Means Java is asking you, you can convert right hand side into character and then you can store that character data. There are other solutions. Change the type of C2 as an integer. Means they are asking you instead of char, change the type of C2 only. But we are not going to change any type. We will add casting operator. So if I just click on that first line, automatic syntax will come and C will convert into character and then that data will hold into character type. So here, if I print this, you will see the result character. Okay, I will say int to char conversion. Correct now? And absolutely 122, it is a ASCII for small z. So whenever I try to print C2, you will able to see character for C2, which is small z. Everyone, are you clear? Explicit casting, it is forceful casting, forceful conversion. And implicit conversion will be what? Automatic conversion, right? Okay, any question on this? Are you clear with the topic? Right? So one more example, last example. See, suppose I'm having double, okay, D2, and I'm having some double data, okay? And this data I wanted to convert into float. So I'm writing float F2 is equal to D2, which is not possible directly. So I can do cast. I can add float. I will convert double into float and float data I can store now. So here we have a conversion double to float, correct? And if I print F2, you will see floating number only. So final variable holds that same type, right? And this number I'm getting as a floating number now, not a double number, right? And this is how you need to understand the topic. Okay, tell me what is primitive data type and how we can convert, okay, implicit, explicit conversion. It is clear? Yeah, any question on this? Okay, I will push the code on GitHub. I will request please to practice. Then only you will understand the topic. Okay. All the programs, whatever I'm trying to show you, please do it on your machine. Okay. And let me write here git init. Okay. Why we are initializing new git status? Better. Okay. Git add everything. Git commit -m. Let me put today's date 31/12/2024 and this is Java day 4, correct? Git push -u origin to master. And let me push this code. And yes, please refer the program, okay, directly from GitHub repo. Yes, everyone clear? Okay, please confirm that you are understanding the topics. Yeah, okay, now?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Okay, great. Okay, do practice all the programs you will try today, no assignment, because the topics are left. Okay, so we'll be continuing the next section for object to primitive and primitive to object conversion. And still, if you have any kind of question, you can reach out to me. Okay. Yeah,
Hmm.
great. Yes, anything else you wanted to say? Fine. Okay, so let's stop the session. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. We will continue next session. Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.